Now we've created our keys. We need to go ahead and add those components within our XML, and then we upload it, and we're done. So let's switch over to our XML. First thing we're going to do, and we always say this, don't touch the base file, don't edit anything, but it's okay to move it into the different hierarchical. Because the extension file is inherent anything to the base file, we're going to take the user journey, which is kind of like the 10 steps to bake a pie. We're going to take that and move it up one layer into the extension file. That way we can do some editing to it. So let's go to the base file. Type in UserJourney. Here it is. I'll copy that. I like seeing it highlighted that way so I can easily see it on the screen, because sometimes the XML will make your eyes kind of turn. This is UserJourney. Think of this as there's 10 steps to get a token. And in these 10 steps, again, I'm making the number 10. There's actually 7 technically. But there's these steps. We're baking a cake. It would be like, okay, first step, you would collect the ingredients. Maybe you mix the waters together, mix the water with the egg and all the liquids, and then you do the dry goods, and then you mix them together. And if you do these things in out of sequence, you could get different results, right? So it's important we do these things in sequential. That's why we have these components of user journeys. You can potentially do data manipulation. I'm going to just use Control A and then page down. Page down. I'm just going to take it all. I'm going to start from the first tag to the last tag. You miss a tag, XML will yell at you. It does not like it. So I just Control X, just cut it. You can see here, this has the closing tag here. This has the closing tag here. I feel really good about this. So I'm going to save this file because, again, I made a change here. I go back to extension file, and because I have this typed, I can easily just filter down in here, and it'll bring me over here. That's why I like using Control F to navigate. This is commented out for XML, so I'm just going to actually paste it right where this exists. Control V. Voila, I just moved it from the base file to extension file. It's pretty easy. I'll go back all the way to the top. See, it's because of Control F. It highlights it. I can see it. Cool. Feels good. Go ahead and save this. Now, if I uploaded this, it would work the same. I didn't really make no change. I just moved data around, right? No biggie. But what we actually need to do in this, we not only need to cut it and paste it in the right location, but we're going to be adding REST API technical protocols today. It can't communicate with it. So we're gonna add that component in there. What I recommend doing, and I'll drag this over so you can see it visually. And it says, hey, we're actually gonna add in the REST API. Now, Visual Studio is kind of finicky. If you try to add something in and then you click off of it, it'll actually make you start over. So I recommend copy your actual URL at the very beginning. I'm gonna show you why. This is a little tip trick. Copy this. The URL that you're going to place. Well, once you've copied it, lagging a little bit, then we're going to use that extension that we used earlier. We want to place it in the claims provider section. I think I gave you guidance just to do it after the Facebook, which is fine. And I'll put a little space here and press Control-Shift-P. This will open in your Visual Studio option and just type in B2C and find in the Add REST API. First one, and this is just a recent one, but it should be all here. These are all different components. You can check these out later. So click on REST API, name. This is important because we're going to reference this later. I'm going to call this REST-API-sign up, enter, and then it needs a URL. So the one I told you copy earlier, with Control V, paste, voila. If you click off this thing, it'll make you start over. Yeah, you'll just be angry at me. So we're going to do basic authentication. And then once you hit enter, it automatically generates everything you did. The extension did this for us. That's why we had you download the extension as a part of this lab. We have all our reference. Here are all the references we made earlier. Remember those keys we created? There's the keys. Reference right there for the basic authentication. And of course, it's basic authentication types and the URL. Everything just kind of works for us.